before humans explored every corner of these remote islands, before science understood the extraordinary diversity of its nature, there already existed a world where evolution followed unique paths. In the tropical jungles of the Philippines, among mist-covered mountains, ancient forests and hidden rivers, dwell strange creatures that have remained hidden for millions of years. Welcome to Wild Philippines, strange creatures hidden in the tropical jungle. Please give us a like and subscribe to the channel to give us more motivation to keep creating quality content. Don't forget to comment below on what you thought of the video and tell us where you are watching from so we can chat together. May God bless everyone with health, peace and love for nature. Let's begin. Above the emerald canopy of the Philippine Islands, an imposing shadow claims absolute sovereignty as the master of the air. The Philippine eagle, known scientifically as Pithecophagou jefferi, is one of the largest and rarest winged predators on our planet. Its kingdom extends across the dense and humid jungles of islands like Mindanao, where the air vibrates under the power of its wings. It possesses a crown of erectile feathers that gives it a royal and threatening appearance, worthy of a monarch of nature. With a wingspan of 2 meters, this magnificent bird navigates through the intricate labyrinth of branches with an agility that defies its size. The females, larger than the males, can reach a weight of 8 kilograms of pure muscular power and determination. Its blue-grey eyes possess a vision 8 times more powerful than that of a human, detecting the slightest movement from a great distance. Formerly known as the monkey-eating eagle, it is a lethal strategist that patrols the forest canopy in search of its next victim. Its hunting technique consists of surprise attacks on long-tailed macaques, flying lemurs, and various large birds. Its massive talons can exert a pressure of 3,000 newtons, ensuring that no prey can escape once caught. When diving, it reaches a speed of 100 kilometers per hour, transforming into a biological projectile of surgical precision. It builds colossal nests in the tops of dipterocarp trees, at a height that often exceeds 40 meters from the ground. Sadly, its existence is in critical danger of extinction, with fewer than 400 pairs estimated to remain in the wild. As a keystone species, its disappearance would cause an irreversible imbalance in the biodiversity of Philippine ecosystems. The Philippine eagle remains the indomitable spirit of the jungle, a winged guardian that demands respect and urgent protection. When the sun hides behind the mountains of Bohol and darkness devours the jungle, one of the most enigmatic creatures on the planet emerges. The Philippine tarsier, scientifically named Carlito sirishta, is a tiny primate that seems to have escaped from a fantasy tale. This little goblin of the night is so tiny that it can easily fit in the palm of a human hand. An average adult measures barely 15 centimeters long and has a weight that oscillates between 80 and 160 grams. Its most striking feature is its colossal eyes, which are proportionally the largest of any mammal on Earth. Each of its eyeballs is as large and heavy as its own brain, occupying most of its skull. Due to the size of its eyes, the tarsier cannot move them within their sockets, but nature has granted it an amazing solution. It possesses a vertebral structure that allows it to rotate its head almost 180 degrees in each direction without moving the rest of its body. This 360-degree vision gives it an absolute tactical advantage for watching for predators and locating prey in the gloom. Its ears are extremely sensitive mobile membranes that can detect ultrasound frequencies inaudible to humans. Unlike most primates, the tarsier is a strict carnivore that feeds on insects, lizards, and small birds. Its hind legs are extraordinarily long due to an elongated ankle bone called the tarsus, which gives it its name. This adaptation allows it to perform explosive jumps of up to 3 meters in distance between the thinnest branches. Its long fingers end in adhesive pads that function as biological suction cups to grip firmly to any surface. The tail is long and hairless, functioning as a perfect balance rudder during its nocturnal aerial maneuvers. It is a solitary and territorial being that uses scent glands to mark its dominance in the dense foliage. When hunting, the tarsier observes its victim with lethal patience before lunging with millisecond precision. Its tactic consists of catching the prey with both hands and delivering a quick bite to immobilize it instantly. Despite its fragile appearance, it is a resilient survivor that has inhabited the jungles of Southeast Asia for 45 million years. However, it is extremely sensitive to stress and noise, which makes it a very difficult species to conserve in captivity. The loss of its natural habitat due to deforestation represents the greatest threat to the continuity of this ancestral lineage. The Philippine tarsier is the guardian of the secrets of the night, a biological jewel that must be protected urgently. In the gloom of the upper canopy, where the wind whispers between the leaves, dwells the silent ghost of the heights. The Philippine colugo, scientifically called Cynocephalus volans, is an extraordinary mammal that has perfected the art of aerial movement. Its most imposing feature is the patagium, an extensive skin membrane that connects its limbs from the neck to the tip of the tail. This biological mantle allows it to transform its body into an organic glider of amazing efficiency in the air. By launching itself from tree trunks, the colugo can cover a distance of up to 100 meters in a single controlled glide. Unlike other mammals, the colugo saves vital energy by avoiding the dangerous and slow descent to the forest floor. Its sharp curved claws provide a steel-like grip on the bark of dipterocarp trees. It is a nocturnal herbivore that feeds on tender leaves, flowers and nectar under the protective mantle of darkness. However, its vulnerability increases at twilight, when it becomes the primary prey of the Philippine eagle. To survive, it uses a mottled camouflage that makes it invisible against the texture of trunks covered in lichens. This glider of the shadows is a vital link that guarantees the transfer of energy between the levels of the jungle. The Philippine colugo remains an evolutionary marvel, a master of gravity that defines the magic of tropical life. Beneath the intricate roots of the Philippine mangroves, a prehistoric figure emerges that dominates the domains of water and mud. The water monitor, scientifically identified as Varanus salvator, is the sovereign of the estuaries and swampland of the archipelago. This colossal reptile can reach a length of 3 meters and weigh up to 60 kilograms, being one of the largest lizards in the world. Its robust body is covered in hard scales that act as natural armor against the dangers of the humid jungle. As a strategic predator, it uses the thick mud to hide its silhouette, becoming invisible to prey approaching the shore. It remains submerged with only its nostrils out of the water, waiting with lethal patience for the exact moment to act. Upon detecting a victim, the monitor releases explosive energy, lunging with lightning reaction speed at its target. Its bite is powerful and can introduce bacteria that weaken the prey, ensuring there is no escape from the initial attack. In addition to being a relentless hunter, the water monitor performs a vital ecological mission as the primary scavenger of the ecosystem. Its bifid tongue picks up chemical particles in the air, allowing it to locate the remains of dead animals from kilometers away. By consuming carrion, it cleans the jungle and prevents the spread of dangerous bacteria and infection hotspots in the environment. Its digestive system is a high-acidity biological laboratory capable of neutralizing lethal toxins present in decomposing meat. This sanitation work guarantees the biological balance of the mangroves, allowing life to thrive without the threat of epidemics. Its tail is a multifunctional tool, acting as a powerful rudder in the water and as a defensive whip capable of fracturing bones. The water monitor is the guardian of the humid shadows, an essential link that maintains the health and vitality of the Philippine jungle. In the emerald heart of the Visayan Islands, where humidity clings to giant ferns, the air exhales the whisper of a fading world. From among the dense vegetation emerges a singular silhouette, crowned by a rebel mane and a face marked by mysterious bumps, the Visayan warty pig. With a weight that barely reaches 80 kilograms, this forest warrior is one of the rarest and most threatened pigs on the entire face of the earth. Its most distinctive feature is the 3 pairs of fleshy bumps on its face, natural armor designed to protect it during fierce territorial disputes. During the mating season, males develop a mane of stiff bristles that can reach 30 centimeters in length, flowing like a war crest. However, its kingdom has been drastically reduced, being trapped in isolated fragments of jungle on the islands of Panay and Negros. They live in small social groups, led by a matriarch who guides the family through the most hidden paths to avoid predators. With their extremely strong snouts, they churn the earth in search of roots and tubers, acting as natural plows that oxygenate the forest soil. Tension arises when an intruder approaches. The group clusters immediately, forming a shield of muscle and tusks to protect the youngest. The alpha male bristles his mane to triple his visual size, releasing warning snorts before charging with the power of 1,000 newtons against the threat. Although they manage to defend their territory, the price of survival is the constant struggle against extinction in a world where their habitat disappears, meter by meter. The Visayan warty pig reminds us that true strength does not reside in size, but in the unshakable will to resist when all seems lost. In the densest and most humid shadows of Balabac Island dwells a tiny ghost that seems to have emerged from an ancient legend. The Philippine mouse deer, known scientifically as Tragulus nigricans, is one of the smallest and most fascinating ungulates in the world. Locally called pilandok, this being is an absolute master of stealth, capable of becoming invisible among the leaf litter of the forest floor. Its size is astonishingly small, reaching a length of barely 40 to 50 centimeters from nose to tail. With a weight that oscillates between 1 and 3 kilograms, it possesses a rounded body supported by extremely thin and fragile legs. Its dark brown fur with 3 distinctive white stripes on the throat provides it with perfect disruptive camouflage. Under the filtered light of the canopy, its figure blends with roots and shadows, frustrating the sharpest predators. Unlike other deer, the pilandok lacks antlers, but nature has granted it a unique and terrifying defensive weapon. Males possess elongated upper canines that protrude from their mouth like small ivory tusks. These biological daggers are used in fierce territorial combat to protect their vital space among the dense bushes. It is a nocturnal and solitary survivor that prefers the safety of the gloom to search for its basic food. It feeds on tender leaves, shoots, and fallen fruits, processing the energy of the jungle with an efficient and silent metabolism. At the slightest suspicion of danger, the mouse deer freezes completely, becoming a statue of flesh and bone. If detected, it initiates an explosive escape through vegetation tunnels, moving at a surprising speed for its size. It performs a vital ecological mission as a seed disperser, guaranteeing the constant regeneration of the baobab forests. As an endemic species, its survival is intrinsically linked to the health of the last fragments of virgin jungle in the Philippines. Its presence is an indicator of the integrity of the island ecosystem, acting as the guardian of the secrets of the understory. Sadly, habitat loss and illegal hunting have placed this little titan in a situation of extreme vulnerability. The Philippine mouse deer is a jewel of evolution, a testament that biological greatness does not depend on physical scale. Preserving its home is a moral imperative to ensure that the pilendok continues to roam the invisible paths of the eternal jungle. In the tropical jungles of Southeast Asia, an elongated shadow glides between roots, branches, and humid leaves. This is the reticulated python, known scientifically as Malaeopython reticulatus, the longest snake in the world. Some exceptional specimens can exceed 6 meters in length, becoming silent giants of the tropical forest. Its reticulated pattern of dark and golden spots breaks the shape of the body among shadows, trunks, and dense vegetation. Despite its size, it can climb trees with surprising skill, using powerful muscles to grip branches and trunks. From the forest floor to the low branches, the python turns every level of the jungle into a possible ambush zone. Small and medium-sized mammals, birds and reptiles form part of its diet in tropical ecosystems. The python detects a small mammal moving near a leaf-covered root and remains motionless among the vegetation. It waits patiently while the prey closes the distance, relying on its camouflage and the absolute stillness of its body. When the precise moment arrives, it launches a sudden attack and wraps the prey with extraordinary force. The hunt is decided by constriction, a silent strategy that turns patience into absolute dominance. Its enormous size allows it to face prey that many other reptiles could not control. However, every movement requires energy, which is why it carefully chooses when to attack and when to remain hidden. As an ambush predator, it helps control populations of small and medium-sized animals within the tropical forest. In the humid jungle, the reticulated python does not need speed to impose fear. It is enough for it to disappear into the shadows and wait for the perfect moment. Among the forests, agricultural fields and wetlands of the Philippines lives one of the most feared snakes in Southeast Asia. This is the Philippine cobra, known scientifically as Naja philippinensis, a species famous for the potency of its venom. Its relatively slender body allows it to move quickly through vegetation and natural shelters. When it feels threatened, it can lift the front part of its body and expand its characteristic hood. This posture serves as a visual warning to potential predators or intruders. Additionally, it possesses the ability to project venom toward a potential threat, a defensive adaptation uncommon among snakes. Its venom is an extremely effective tool for immobilizing prey and protecting itself from possible dangers. Rodents constitute a fundamental part of its diet, especially in areas near fields and crops. By controlling mouse populations, the cobra also plays an important role within the ecological balance. The snake detects a rodent moving through the grass and begins to discreetly follow its movements. It takes advantage of the plant cover to approach without drawing attention while gradually reducing the distance. When the prey enters a favorable position, it launches a quick and precise attack. The hunt is decided thanks to the combination of reflexes, precision, and the effectiveness of its venom. Few species generate as much respect among the inhabitants of the tropical areas where this snake lives. In the Philippines, the Philippine cobra represents a silent and powerful presence, a predator that combines elegance, adaptation, and one of the most feared venoms in Asia. In the dizzying heights of the Philippine canopy dwells a master of aerial evasion that seems to have emerged from ancient mythological legends. The Draco lizard, known scientifically as Draco volans, is the authentic flying dragon that dominates the skies of the tropical archipelago. Its most extraordinary feature is the patagium, an expandable skin membrane supported by a set of elongated and mobile ribs. These ribs, independent of its limbs, can unfold like biological fans to capture the air and generate lift. With a length of barely 20 centimeters, its slender and light body is designed to achieve supreme aerodynamic efficiency. Its skin mimics the texture of bark with brown and grey tones, allowing it to become invisible while resting on trunks. When a predator like an arboreal snake approaches, the Draco chooses flight over confrontation in a fraction of a second. With a powerful jump, it unfolds its colourful membranes and glides smoothly through the humid air of the virgin jungle. This tiny aviator can cover a distance of up to 60 meters in a single glide, losing very little altitude in the process. Its long, thin tail functions as a high-precision biological rudder, allowing it to navigate between branches with surgical skill. During the mating season, males display a yellow gular flag under their throat to signal their vigor and territorial dominance. It is an expert hunter of ants and termites, waiting motionless on trunks for insects to cross its lethal attack radius. Its unique ability to disappear into the air makes it one of the most frustrating prey for terrestrial and arboreal predators. As a specialized insectivore, it maintains the biological balance of the canopy, preventing ant populations from expanding without control. The Draco lizard is a masterpiece of evolution, a corner of magic that demonstrates that dragons exist in the heart of the forest. In the gloom of the Philippine jungles dwells a being whose appearance defies any conventional classification, the binturong. Known scientifically as Arctictis binturong, this animal is often called the bear cat due to its feline face and robust body. Its most distinctive feature is its prehensile tail, a massive tool that functions as a fifth limb for navigating the heights. An adult can weigh up to 20 kilograms and measure almost 2 meters in total length, including its powerful, muscular tail. Although it may seem slow on the ground, the binturong is a master of arboreal life, moving safely among fruit-laden branches. Surprisingly, this predator emits a characteristic scent of hot popcorn, a unique chemical signal in nature. It uses its scent glands to mark its territory, leaving an olfactory trail that communicates its presence to other forest individuals. As a primary frugivore, it performs a crucial mission by digesting fig seeds and dispersing them, guaranteeing the regeneration of the forest canopy. Its vertical pupils and sharp hearing allow it to patrol the humid jungle under the moonlight with absolute precision. Sadly, the accelerated loss of its habitat due to deforestation is drastically reducing its ancestral domains. Furthermore, the binturong faces the constant threat of illegal hunting for the exotic pet trade and traditional medicine. Protecting this guardian of the corn scent is fundamental to preserving the biological balance of the primary jungles of Southeast Asia. Among the dense foliage emerges a vibrant red figure that announces the dawn of the Philippine jungle with indisputable authority. The Philippine hornbill, known scientifically as Bucurus hydrocorax, is the tireless and vital gardener of the dipterocarp forests. Its most imposing feature is a massive beak crowned by a crimson casque that symbolizes its royal status in the canopy. An adult male reaches a length of 70 centimeters and possesses powerful wing musculature to soar through the humid air. It is known locally as the clock of the mountains due to its powerful rhythmic call that resonates from kilometers away. When flying, its wings produce a deep sound reminiscent of a steam locomotive, an acoustic signal of its sovereign presence. Its reproductive behavior is one of the most fascinating in nature, based on absolute loyalty and trust between the pair. As the primary seed disperser, the hornbill guarantees that the most important timber species continue to be born and grow in the virgin jungle. It can transport heavy seeds over distances of more than 5 kilometers, expanding plant biodiversity into new fertile territories. The Philippine hornbill is the architect of the forest, a biological jewel whose existence ensures the green future of the entire archipelago. Protecting its habitat is a moral imperative to prevent silence from falling over the peaks where its powerful voice once reigned. The Philippine hornbill remains the guardian of life, a symbol of resilience that flies over the infinite sky of the Philippines. As twilight falls over the jungles of the Philippines, the sky fills with the silhouette of a winged titan that defies the imagination. The golden-crowned flying fox, scientifically named Acercerodon jubotus, is the largest bat on the planet and a biological treasure. It possesses a colossal wingspan that reaches 1.7 meters, stretching like a dark leather mantle over the tree canopy. With a weight of up to 1.2 kilograms, this giant of the air is a marvel of evolutionary engineering adapted to sustained flight. It is a strict frugivore that covers distances of more than 40 kilometers in a single night to find the best wild figs. It performs a vital ecological mission as the soar of the jungle, dispersing seeds across vast mountainous territories. Its head is adorned with bright amber-colored fur that gives it its name and a royal appearance among the low clouds. During the day, thousands of individuals rest hanging upside down in the tallest trees, forming colonies that protect their collective existence. Sadly, the loss of primary jungle and hunting have reduced their populations to critical levels, threatening the health of the entire ecosystem. The giant flying fox is the guardian of the night skies, an essential link that ensures the green future of the Philippine Islands. In the low tide zones of the Philippines, a fish emerges that defies the laws of conventional biology by conquering dry land. The mudskipper, scientifically called Periophthalmodon schlosseri, is the undisputed sovereign of the humid borders between the sea and the forest. This amphibious fish has developed highly vascularized skin that allows it to perform cutaneous respiration efficiently out of the water. Its gill chambers act as water reserve tanks, keeping its gills moist and functional while it patrols the burning mud. Its periscopic eyes are situated on the upper part of its head, granting it 360-degree vision to detect imminent dangers. It uses its muscular pectoral fins as biological arms to walk over the muddy surface with surprising and fluid skill. With a powerful twist of its tail, this fish can jump a distance of almost a meter to escape attacks from terrestrial predators. It is a tunnel engineer that builds complex burrows up to a meter deep in the soft ground of the mangrove. These underground shelters possess air chambers that guarantee its survival and the protection of its eggs during low tides. The mudskipper is extremely territorial, displaying its colourful dorsal fins to intimidate any intruder that invades its property. Its diet is purely opportunistic, capturing insects and small crustaceans with a rapid jaw movement of 40 kilometers per hour. It must always stay alert for herons and snakes that patrol the mud in search of easy and nutritious prey. Unlike other fish, its life takes place mostly out of the water, demonstrating an evolutionary independence that amazes modern science. It plays a crucial role in nutrient recycling, churning the sediment and oxygenating the soil of the Philippine riparian forests. The mudskipper is the guardian of the shore, a masterpiece of adaptation that reigns successfully between two opposite worlds. In the deepest and most forgotten corners of the Philippine swamps, a sovereign of time immemorial emerges that inspires absolute respect. The saltwater crocodile, scientifically named Crocodylus porosus, is the apex predator of the wetlands and estuaries of the archipelago. This prehistoric titan can reach a length of 6 meters, becoming the largest and heaviest reptile inhabiting our planet today. A dominant male can weigh up to 1,000 kilograms of pure brute force, protected by an armor of armored scales. It has survived for more than 200 million years, perfecting a hunting machinery that knows no rival at the border between water and land. It possesses thousands of sensory receptors in its jaw that detect the vibrations and pressure changes of a prey from a great distance. It is a master of invisibility, capable of remaining completely submerged while leaving only its eyes and nostrils on the surface of the mud. When attacking, it releases explosive energy that propels it out of the water with lightning reaction speed at its target. Its bite generates an astonishing pressure of 16,000 newtons, the most devastating and powerful force recorded in the entire animal kingdom. It uses the famous death roll to dismember and subdue its victims in a fierce combat where no possible escape exists. Its highly efficient metabolism allows it to survive for months without ingesting food after having consumed a large prey in the jungle. Sadly, In the Philippines, its population has been drastically reduced, being today one of the rarest and most threatened killers of the mangroves. As an alpha predator, it performs a vital mission regulating the biological health of aquatic ecosystems and maintaining the balance of species. Despite its lethal ferocity, the mother crocodile protects her offspring with a tenderness and loyalty that defies its wild nature. Preserving the dragon of the swamps is to ensure the integrity of the food chain in the last virgin refuges of the Philippine archipelago. The Philippine stick insects are the supreme masters of mimicry, transforming their anatomy into exact replicas of branches and leaves. With a length that can exceed 30 centimeters, these beings become invisible to the eyes of the birds of prey in the canopy. It is estimated that more than 70% of the insect species in the archipelago are endemic and unique to these virgin lands. The frogs of the genus Platymantis have developed direct evolution, where the young emerge from the egg as miniature adults. This adaptation eliminates the need to seek standing water, allowing them to colonize the most remote mountain peaks of the Philippines. Their acoustic communication creates a nocturnal symphony that maintains social cohesion and biological balance on the forest floor. These architects of the tiny perform a vital ecological mission as pest controllers and recyclers of organic nutrients. The fate of these hidden treasures depends on the preservation of every square centimeter of the jungle that saw them born. From the misty peaks of the Central Cordillera to the depths of the Philippine Trench, there exists a sacred and invisible connection. The archipelago is a living organism where the tropical jungle and the coral reef function as a single biological heart. Monsoon rains discharge more than 4,000 millimeters of water annually over the mountains, initiating a vital journey toward the ocean. Mighty rivers transport sediment and organic matter that nourish every corner of the coastal plains at great speed. In the transition zone emerge the mangroves of the genus Rhizophora, the guardians who protect the border between land and sea. Their intricate roots act as a biological kidney, filtering impurities and guaranteeing that pure water reaches the reefs. Without the protection of the forest and the mangrove, excess mud would suffocate the coral polyps in a lethal sedimentation process. A few kilometers from the coast lies the Tubataha Reef, a stronghold of biodiversity declared a World Heritage Site. This underwater paradise is home to more than 600 species of fish and 360 species of corals in an area of 97,000 hectares. Oxygen-rich marine currents flow from the abyss, clashing against the coral walls at a constant speed. The Philippines is located at the epicenter of the Coral Triangle, the region with the highest density of marine life on the entire planet. The exchange of nutrients between the jungle and the sea creates a survival network that sustains thousands of predators and prey. Sea turtles and reef sharks depend on the health of the seagrass meadows located near the forests. This indissoluble union is the guarantee that the cycle of life continues to beat strongly on every island of the archipelago. The fate of the jungle and the fate of the coral are one and the same, a perfect balance that defines the essence of the Philippine paradise. On the highest peaks of the Sierra Madre, the cycle of life begins with the caress of the clouds and the birth of pure humidity. Every drop of rain captured by the canopy initiates a descending journey driven by the relentless force of gravity. Water gathers in small streams that carve basalt and limestone, flowing with a renewing energy toward the heart of the jungle. The Cagayan River, the longest in the archipelago, covers 505 kilometers, transporting vital sediments that fertilize the valleys of Luzon. Along its path, waterfalls like Maria Cristina transform the river's calm into an explosion of white energy with a force of thousands of newtons. The water hits the deep pools with massive pressure, oxygenating the channel and creating refuges for endemic fish and crustaceans. In the regions of Palawan, water disappears underground to sculpt one of the most amazing cave systems on the planet. The Puerto Princesa underground river flows for 8 kilometers under a limestone cathedral adorned with millennia-old stalactites. In this world of absolute darkness, the temperature remains constant at 26 degrees Celsius, offering a sanctuary for thousands of swiftlets and bats. The cave water is loaded with dissolved minerals that, upon reaching the sea, nourish the corals and maintain the health of the coastal reefs. For terrestrial fauna, these liquid arteries are the only life insurance during seasons of extreme heat and drought. Deer and wild boars congregate on the banks of the rivers, always alert for the stealth of predators patrolling the water. Humanity also depends on this vital flow, extracting millions of litres daily to sustain agriculture and life in the villages. At the end of its path, the river embraces the ocean in the estuaries, where mangroves act as nature's final filter. Water is the invisible soul of the Philippines, a crystal thread that unites the summits with the abyss and guarantees the eternity of life. In the heart of the tropics, existence is not governed by the human clock, but by the pulse of water and the eternal cycle of the sun. The arrival of the southwest monsoon discharges up to 5,000 millimeters of rain annually, awakening the latent spirit of the virgin jungle. Quiet streams are transformed into raging rivers with a flow of thousands of liters per second, carving new paths among the trees. This explosion of humidity triggers a biological symphony where flora blooms massively, providing energy for the entire ecosystem. Hornbills and eagles take advantage of the abundance of fruits and prey to feed their chicks in the highest part of the canopy. However, as the months pass, the sky clears and the northeast monsoon brings with it the relentless dry season. The temperature rises to 35 degrees Celsius, evaporating the small lagoons and transforming mud into cracked earth. Water becomes the most precious treasure, and every remaining puddle is transformed into a strategic battlefield for life. Deer and warty pigs must risk their lives on the riverbanks, where monitors wait with lethal patience. Even tarsiers and small frogs must adjust their activity, seeking the last strongholds of moisture in the deep moss. This cycle of abundance and scarcity is the forge that has perfected the intelligence and resilience of Philippine fauna for millennia. The eternal heartbeat of the seasons guarantees that the pulse of the archipelago remains strong and unstoppable under the tropical sky. Between the mist of the mountains and the salt of the sea, humanity has found its place in the vibrant heart of the Philippines. Indigenous peoples have guarded this archipelagic treasure for centuries, based on a deep respect for the land. Coastal communities depend on the sea, practicing sustainable fishing that ensures abundance for future generations. Traditional divers can descend up to 20 meters without equipment, collecting only what is necessary to feed their families. In the highlands, the Ifugao people carved majestic terraces, an engineering marvel that yields kilograms of rice. This traditional cultivation respects the mountain slopes, avoiding soil erosion while maintaining water purity. The forest is a biological pharmacy for locals, providing leaves and roots used in traditional medicine for millennia. Ancestral knowledge is transmitted from elders to youth through traditions that emphasize the sanctity of life. Many communities have declared their territories as protected forests to save the habitat of the Philippine eagle and other beings. Community patrols walk 10 kilometers daily through the jungle, identifying illegal activities and monitoring the health of the fauna. Sacred rituals are performed at the sources of the rivers, thanking the water spirits for the life flowing toward the sea. They understand that the ecosystem balance is fragile and depends on human moderation and millennial wisdom. Humanity and nature are not separate entities in the archipelago, but parts of a single complex and beautiful biological tapestry. The resilience of these peoples is the best defense against modern threats of destruction and environmental neglect. Living in harmony with the environment is the only way to ensure that the Philippine paradise survives for all eternity. The Philippine archipelago today finds itself at a critical crossroads between biological survival and definitive disappearance. The massive loss of primary jungle has reduced the domains of the Philippine eagle to isolated fragments of less than 10 square kilometers each. Unbridled poaching threatens to extinguish the mouse deer and the warty pig, genetic treasures that do not exist anywhere else. The increase in global temperature by 1.5 degrees Celsius intensifies typhoons, whose winds exceed 250 kilometers per hour, destroying vital nests. The warming of oceanic waters causes massive coral bleaching, threatening the life of thousands of fish in the Coral Triangle. The expansion of agriculture and large-scale mining fragments the biological corridors necessary for the free movement of endemic fauna. Philippine scientists work tirelessly in breeding centers to ensure that the Philippine eagle recovers its population in the wild. The creation of new protected areas is the only effective wall against the advance of environmental destruction on remote islands. Local communities have become the sovereign guardians of biodiversity, patrolling 20 kilometers of virgin jungle every day. Protecting every binturong and every reef is to ensure the balance of an ecosystem that regulates the climate of the entire Southeast Asia. Philippine nature possesses extraordinary resilience, capable of being reborn among volcanic ashes if given the necessary space. The salvation of this biological heritage is a global responsibility, as the archipelago holds fundamental evolutionary secrets for modern science. The time to act is now, before the last roar of the jungle is silenced under the weight of human negligence. We must ensure that the eagle's flight over the emerald canopy is an eternal legacy for future generations of Filipinos. The Philippines remains a paradise for wildlife, a kingdom of giants and tiny beings fighting for their sovereignty on the blue planet. Subscribe to the channel and share this video to carry this message of respect far and wide. Every gesture helps to protect nature's wonderful creation. The Philippine archipelago today finds itself at a critical crossroads between biological survival and definitive disappearance. The massive loss of primary jungle has reduced the domains of the Philippine eagle to isolated fragments of less than 10 square kilometers each. Unbridled poaching threatens to extinguish the mouse deer and the warty pig, genetic treasures that do not exist anywhere else. The increase in global temperature by 1.5 degrees Celsius intensifies typhoons, whose winds exceed 250 kilometers per hour, destroying vital nests. The warming of oceanic waters causes massive coral bleaching, threatening the life of thousands of fish in the Coral Triangle. The expansion of agriculture and large-scale mining fragments the biological corridors necessary for the free movement of endemic fauna. Philippine scientists work tirelessly in breeding centers to ensure that the Philippine eagle recovers its population in the wild. The creation of new protected areas is the only effective wall against the advance of environmental destruction on remote islands. Local communities have become the sovereign guardians of biodiversity, patrolling 20 kilometers of virgin jungle every day. Protecting every binturong and every reef is to ensure the balance of an ecosystem that regulates the climate of the entire Southeast Asia. Philippine nature possesses extraordinary resilience, capable of being reborn among volcanic ashes if given the necessary space. The salvation of this biological heritage is a global responsibility, as the archipelago holds fundamental evolutionary secrets for modern science. The time to act is now, before the last roar of the jungle is silenced under the weight of human negligence. We must ensure that the eagle's flight over the emerald canopy is an eternal legacy for future generations of Filipinos. The Philippines remains a paradise for wildlife, a kingdom of giants and tiny beings fighting for their sovereignty on the blue planet. Subscribe to the channel and share this video to carry this message of respect far and wide. Every gesture helps to protect nature's wonderful creation. Before humanity understood the vastness of the ocean, before science revealed what lies hidden beneath its deep waters, there already existed a world where every shadow could be a predator. In the wild ocean, amid dark currents, silent abysses, and invisible territories, the most dangerous predators hide, wait, and strike without warning. Welcome to Wild Ocean, the refuge of the most dangerous predators. Please give us a like and subscribe to the channel to motivate us to keep creating high-quality content. Don't forget to leave a comment below telling us what you think of the video, and let us know where you're watching from so we can connect and chat together. Let's begin. Seen from space, our planet looks like an immense blue world. This happens because oceans cover more than 70% of the Earth's surface, forming a gigantic mass of water that surrounds continents, islands, tropical coasts, polar regions, and the greatest depths known to man. From the Atlantic to the Pacific, from the Indian to the Arctic and the Southern Ocean, this liquid realm connects all corners of the planet as a single living force. But the ocean is not just water, it is one of the greatest treasures of life on Earth. In its currents, reefs, seagrass meadows, mangroves, seamounts, and abyssal zones, millions of organisms find refuge, food, and space to survive. Whales cross entire oceans in long migrations. Sharks patrol ancient routes. Sea turtles return to the beaches where they were born. And tiny plankton organisms maintain the entire food chain. It was in the ancient waters of the Earth that life began billions of years ago. And today, the ocean continues to sustain the planet in essential ways. It produces more than 50% of the oxygen we breathe, mainly thanks to phytoplankton. microscopic organisms that float near the surface and perform photosynthesis. Invisible to many, they are one of the foundations of life on Earth. The ocean also regulates the global climate. Its currents transport heat between tropical and polar regions, influencing rains, winds, temperatures, and even the formation of storms. Additionally, it absorbs a large portion of the carbon dioxide released into the atmosphere, functioning as a gigantic natural climate regulator. And despite all this importance, a large part of this world remains unknown. It is estimated that more than 80% of the ocean has not yet been explored in detail. This means that beneath the waves, there may still be species never seen, landscapes never filmed, and entire ecosystems waiting to be discovered. The ocean is a source of food, a migration route, a refuge for giant creatures, and a sanctuary for almost invisible beings. It is a cradle, a wall, a path, and a mystery. A place where life reinvents itself in every depth, in every current, and in every silent heartbeat of this vast blue heart. Each layer of the ocean is a distinct world, a kingdom with its own rules, extreme challenges, and extraordinary life forms, from the sun-drenched surface to the eternally dark abysses. Life has found surprising ways to thrive in virtually every environment imaginable. In the surface waters, known as the photic zone, sunlight warms the ocean and allows for photosynthesis. It is here that phytoplankton produces much of the planet's oxygen and sustains an immense food chain. This chain includes small fish, turtles, dolphins, tunas, and some of the largest creatures on Earth. In these waters, we also find vibrant coral reefs, true underwater cities full of color and movement. As we descend, the light begins to disappear. The temperature decreases, the pressure increases, and the ocean reveals a more silent and mysterious world. Seamounts, gigantic canyons, kelp forests, and regions where bioluminescent creatures produce their own light to hunt, communicate, or escape. Predators emerge. Further down are the abyssal zones, an environment where darkness is absolute. At thousands of meters deep, the pressure can be hundreds of times greater than at the surface. Even so, dragonfish, giant squids, transparent shrimp, tube worms, and countless unknown species manage to survive in conditions that seem impossible for most life forms. With millions of known species and many more to discover, the ocean remains one of nature's greatest enigmas. It is, at the same time, a sanctuary for giants like the blue whale, which can exceed 30 meters in length, and a home for microscopic organisms invisible to the naked eye but fundamental to the balance of life on the planet. This Great Blue Sea constitutes the largest ecosystem on Earth. It covers approximately 361 million square kilometers, contains about 97% of all the water on the planet, and reaches depths of more than 11,000 meters in the most extreme oceanic trenches. Its 5 great oceans, Pacific, Atlantic, Indian, Arctic, and Southern, are connected in a single global network of currents that transports heat, nutrients, and life around the world. And despite all this majesty, we still know surprisingly little about it. Scientists estimate that a massive part of the ocean floor remains unexplored, and every year new species continue to be discovered. Each dive into the depths reveals a new chapter of a story that began billions of years ago and is still far from being fully understood. However, all these waters share something in common, a mystery that continues to challenge science. It is estimated that less than 20% of the ocean floor has been mapped in detail. In many deep regions, we know less about the underwater relief than about some areas of the surface of the Moon. In the planet's largest trenches, such as the Mariana Trench, located in the western Pacific Ocean, depths exceed 10,900 meters. The pressure in this environment is so extreme that it can exceed 1,000 times the atmospheric pressure at sea level. Even so, life has found extraordinary ways to thrive where sunlight never reaches. In these depths live creatures that seem to have come from an alien world. The anglerfish uses a bioluminescent lure to attract prey in absolute darkness. The dragonfish has transparent teeth and light organs scattered across its body. Giant isopods, distant relatives of small garden woodlice, can reach more than 50 centimeters in length. Giant squids and colossal squids patrol the depths, while ghostly jellyfish float silently in an environment almost pristine for humans. Near hydrothermal vents, where the water exceeds hundreds of degrees Celsius before mixing with the freezing ocean, extraordinary ecosystems arise. Giant tube worms, specialized shrimp, and bacterial colonies thrive without depending on sunlight. Instead of photosynthesis, the base of this ecosystem is chemosynthesis. This is an evolutionary adaptation so unusual that it changed the way scientists understand the limits of life on Earth. But oceans are not just a reservoir of biodiversity. They play a fundamental role in the planet's stability. Giant ocean currents transport heat between tropical and polar regions. These currents influence temperatures, rain, droughts, and storms across entire continents. Systems like the Gulf Stream help regulate the climate of vast regions of Europe and North America. Furthermore, oceans absorb approximately a quarter of all carbon dioxide produced by human activities and capture more than 90% of the excess heat generated by global warming. Plankton, made up of billions of microscopic beings, forms the base of the marine food chain, from small fish to sharks, from giant whales to oceanic birds. Almost all marine life depends on these organisms. Many of them also produce a significant part of the oxygen present in the atmosphere. Every drop of ocean water holds stories of adaptation, survival, and evolution. From the luminous creatures of the depths to the giants that cross entire seas, the ocean remains one of nature's greatest mysteries, an extraordinary world that we are only beginning to understand. At the ocean's surface, where sunlight still penetrates and currents shape life every day, we find some of the most charismatic and intelligent animals on the planet. This is the kingdom of sea travelers, creatures that traverse vast distances guided by experience, communication, and extraordinary intelligence. Among them, few arouse as much fascination as dolphins. These marine mammals can measure between 2 and 4 meters in length and weigh up to 650 kilograms, depending on the species. They live in highly social groups called pods, where cooperation is fundamental for survival, with a life expectancy that can vary between 30 and 50 years. Some individuals are capable of forming lasting bonds that remain for decades. Dolphins are known for their playful behavior, but behind that friendly appearance exists one of the most sophisticated minds in the animal kingdom. Studies show they can recognize their own image in a mirror, an ability shared by few animals like great primates, elephants, and some highly intelligent birds. Scientists have also discovered that many dolphins use specific whistles that function as true names, allowing individuals to be identified within the group. Their diet consists mainly of fish, squid, and small cephalopods. However, what really impresses is the way they hunt. In various regions of the world, dolphins work as a team to surround schools of fish, create bubble barriers, or drive fish toward shallow waters before the final attack. Some populations have developed exclusive techniques transmitted from generation to generation, something considered a rudimentary form of animal culture. One of the most fascinating stories occurs on the coast of Brazil, where wild dolphins have cooperated with artisanal fishermen for generations. The animals drive the fish toward the nets and signal the ideal moment for the cast, benefiting both the fishermen and the dolphins themselves. It is one of the rare documented associations between human beings and wild predators in a natural setting. In addition to their social intelligence, Dolphins possess an extraordinary ability called echolocation. They emit high-frequency clicks that travel through the water and return as echoes when they encounter obstacles or prey. The brain interprets this information in fractions of a second, creating a kind of three-dimensional map of the environment. Even in murky waters or during the night, they manage to locate fish, identify objects, and navigate with impressive precision. The speed of their swimming is also notable, as some species can exceed 35 kilometers per hour, accompanying vessels or performing spectacular jumps on the surface. These behaviors help strengthen social bonds, communicate information, and even eliminate parasites from the skin. But dolphins represent much more than intelligence and agility. They symbolize the extraordinary capacity of life to evolve complex solutions and survive in a vast and constantly changing environment. Each group, each vocalization, and each hunting strategy reveals a level of sophistication that continues to surprise scientists. By observing a dolphin emerging from the waves under the sunlight, we are before one of the most notable examples of intelligence, cooperation, and adaptation that nature has ever produced. More than 100 million years ago, long before the emergence of human beings, sea turtles already crossed the planet's oceans. They survived the extinction of the dinosaurs, natural climate changes, and the transformations of the continents. Today, they continue to be some of the most extraordinary travelers in the animal kingdom. These ancient creatures perform impressive migrations that can exceed thousands of kilometers. Some leatherback turtles traverse entire oceans, traveling between feeding and reproduction areas. Most surprising is that many females return to exactly the same beach where they were born decades earlier, a phenomenon known as natal philopatry. Scientists believe they use the Earth's magnetic field as a kind of natural map, allowing them to find their way through the vastness of the ocean. With hydrodynamic bodies perfectly adapted to marine life, turtles can range from about 70 centimeters to more than 2 meters in length. The giant leatherback turtle, the largest living species, can exceed 700 kilograms and dive to depths greater than 1,000 meters in search of food. Some species live more than 80 years, and researchers believe certain individuals could exceed a century of life. Their diet varies by species, like the green turtle, which feeds mainly on algae and seagrasses, helping to keep underwater meadows healthy. On the other hand, the leatherback turtle is a specialist in capturing jellyfish, consuming hundreds of them in a single week. Other species complement their diet with crustaceans, mollusks, and small invertebrates. But perhaps no phase of these creatures' lives is as dramatic as birth. In a single night, a female can deposit between 80 and 120 eggs in a nest excavated in the sand. After weeks of incubation, dozens of hatchlings emerge almost simultaneously and begin a desperate race toward the sea. Guided only by the natural light of the horizon, they face in this short journey seagulls, crabs, fish, and countless predators. It is estimated that only 1 in every 1,000 hatchlings manages to reach adulthood. Even more extraordinary is the fact that the temperature of the sand can determine the sex of the hatchlings. Warmer nests tend to produce more females, while lower temperatures favor the birth of males. It is a rare evolutionary adaptation that directly connects the reproduction of these species with environmental conditions. For a long time, it was believed that turtles were simple animals, guided only by instinct. However, recent research reveals surprising capabilities, as they can memorize complex migratory routes, recognize feeding areas, and adapt their movements according to currents. Some demonstrate a remarkable navigation ability that rivals that of many migratory birds. But their journey does not always end safely, as fishing nets, plastic pollution, and the increase in global temperature represent growing threats. Thousands of turtles confuse plastic bags with jellyfish, ingesting materials that can be fatal. Furthermore, the rising sea level threatens many of the beaches where they have deposited their eggs for countless generations. Despite so many challenges, they keep returning year after year and decade after decade. Each sea turtle that emerges to lay its eggs carries with it a story started millions of years ago, a story of survival, memory, and perseverance. By observing one of these silent travelers disappear into the blue horizon, we are witnesses to one of the most extraordinary journeys ever produced by evolution. And it's not just the submerged inhabitants that depend on the ocean. Seabirds like the albatross live in close connection with the sea, with a wingspan that can exceed 3.5 meters. They are true giants of the sky, capable of flying thousands of kilometers without touching land. Some species of albatross live up to 50 years, returning to remote islands to reproduce. Frigates, for their part, are specialists in capturing fish that swim near the surface. Weighing just over 1 kilogram, these birds possess long and light wings that allow them to soar for hours. However, life in the ocean also carries risks. Many seabirds ingest plastic by confusing it with food, which can be fatal. These birds not only depend on the ocean, but also play important roles in the nutrient cycle by transporting organic matter from the sea to terrestrial ecosystems. They are a vital bridge between the life of the ocean and the dry land. As we leave the surface behind, we dive into one of the most spectacular and colorful environments on the planet. Welcome to the realm of coral reefs, true underwater metropolises where millions of creatures live, hunt, reproduce, and compete for space in a continuous explosion of life. Many people imagine that corals are stones or colored plants. In reality, they are animals. Each reef is formed by billions of small organisms called polyps, distant relatives of jellyfish and sea anemones. Over thousands of years, these tiny builders produce calcium carbonate skeletons that give rise to some of the largest biological structures on Earth. Although they cover less than 1% of the ocean floor, reefs sustain more than 25% of all known marine species. It is a concentration of biodiversity so impressive that many scientists compare them to the Amazon tropical rainforests. Among its inhabitants are clownfish, seahorses, moray eels, butterfly fish, angelfish, sea turtles, octopuses, rays, reef sharks, starfish, cleaner shrimp, and thousands more species. Some spend their entire lives within the reef, while others use these structures as temporary refuge during migrations or their juvenile phases. The corals themselves present surprisingly varied forms. There are brain corals, whose surfaces recall the grooves of a human brain, and staghorn corals that grow like branched underwater trees. Table corals form gigantic flat structures that serve as refuge for hundreds of fish. Meanwhile, soft corals sway with the currents as if they were living flowers. One of the greatest wonders of this world is found in Australia. The Great Barrier Reef stretches for about 2,300 kilometers and can be observed from space. It is the largest living structure ever built by organisms on the planet, composed of thousands of individual reefs and hundreds of islands. But reefs hold secrets that many are unaware of. Much of their vibrant colors does not come from the corals themselves, but from microscopic algae called zooxanthellae. These algae live inside the coral tissues in a relationship of perfect cooperation. They provide energy through photosynthesis while receiving refuge and nutrients. When waters warm excessively, this association breaks down and the phenomenon known as coral bleaching occurs. In addition to their beauty, reefs perform fundamental functions for human life. They protect coasts against storms and erosion, sustain fisheries that feed millions of people, and generate billions of dollars in tourism each year. It is estimated that more than 500 million people depend directly or indirectly on coral ecosystems for their survival. But this wealth is extremely fragile. Rising ocean temperatures, acidification caused by excess carbon dioxide, plastic pollution, overfishing, and uncontrolled coastal development threaten reefs around the planet. Some regions have already lost a large part of their coral cover in recent decades. Even so, reefs remain one of the greatest symbols of life's ability to build, cooperate, and evolve. Each coral, each fish, and each creature hidden among its cracks participates in a complex network of relationships that took thousands of years to form. They are vibrant, delicate, and extraordinary underwater cities that remind us that some of the greatest wonders of the earth exist far from our eyes, beneath the silent waters of the ocean. Among the most iconic inhabitants of the reefs is the clownfish. Small, vibrant, and easily recognized by its orange body with white stripes, usually measuring between 8 and 12 centimeters. It lives in one of the most famous associations of the ocean, the relationship with sea anemones. While the clownfish receives protection among the anemone's stinging tentacles, it helps clean it, keeps away small invaders, and can attract food scraps. It is an impressive example of natural cooperation in an environment where every hiding place can mean the difference between living and disappearing. But there is a detail that many are unaware of. Clownfish live in groups with a rigid hierarchy, and the dominant individual is always a female. If she disappears, the largest male can change sex and take her place. This extraordinary adaptation guarantees the continuity of reproduction even when the group's balance is altered. In the dark cracks of the reef, another character watches in silence. The moray eel, with its elongated body, smooth skin, and serpentine movements. It is one of the most enigmatic predators of this ecosystem. Some species can exceed 3 meters in length, hiding in holes and natural caves while waiting for the approach of fish, octopuses, and crustaceans. Its intimidating appearance often causes fear, but the moray eel is not an aggressive monster out of control. In reality, it usually attacks only when it hunts or feels threatened. One of its most curious features is the presence of a second jaw located in the throat, called the pharyngeal jaw. When it bites a prey, this structure advances to help pull the food in, like an almost alien mechanism developed by evolution. Despite its fearsome reputation, the moray eel has an essential role in the balance of the reefs. By controlling populations of fish and other animals, it avoids imbalances that could affect the entire coral community. In some reefs, it even cooperates with groupers during the hunt. While the grouper pursues prey in open areas, the moray eel enters the cracks where fish try to hide. Among the corals and algae, almost invisible to hurried eyes, live the seahorses. Small, delicate, and surprisingly resilient, they can measure from 2 to 35 centimeters, depending on the species. Their prehensile tails allow them to attach themselves to corals, sponges, and marine plants, avoiding being swept away by currents. Seahorses are masters of camouflage. Some change color slightly to blend with the environment, while others possess body protrusions that resemble algae or coral fragments. They feed on small crustaceans, larvae, and plankton, sucking in their prey quickly through their tube-shaped mouth. Despite their fragile size, they can consume thousands of small organisms in a single day. But their most famous feature lies in reproduction. Unlike most animals, it is the males who carry the eggs. The female deposits the eggs in a special pouch on the male's abdomen, where they remain protected until birth. When the time comes, the male releases dozens or even hundreds of tiny offspring into the ocean. Few will survive, but each is born as a perfect miniature version of the adults. The clownfish, the moray eel, and the seahorse show 3 different faces of reef life: cooperation, strategic predation, and extreme delicacy. Together, they reveal that these underwater cities are not only beautiful, but also full of evolutionary intelligence. They are invisible stories that occur every second beneath the sea surface. Majestic, powerful, and deeply misunderstood. Few animals arouse as much fascination and fear as sharks. These predators have existed for more than 400 million years, long before the dinosaurs. They survived major extinction events that erased countless life forms from the Earth. True engineers of evolution, sharks are synonymous with strength, agility, and adaptation. With hydrodynamic bodies designed to cut through the water with precision, powerful muscles, and extraordinary senses, they occupy an essential place in the oceans. Many sharks are top predators, helping to maintain the balance of marine food chains. By controlling fish populations and eliminating sick or weakened animals, they contribute to the health of reefs and open seas. Their teeth, which can reach about 6 centimeters in the case of the great white shark, are replaced continuously throughout their lives. Some species can lose and renew thousands of teeth during their existence, always guaranteeing an efficient tool for capturing prey. Furthermore, sharks possess impressive senses, such as detecting vibrations in the water and odors at great distances. They can even detect small electric fields emitted by animals hidden under the sand. Among them, the great white shark stands out as the most famous, being able to exceed 6 meters in length and weigh more than 2 tons. Its image, however, has been deeply distorted by popular culture. For decades, movies and horror stories have presented sharks as bloodthirsty monsters, always in search of humans. This view has created fear, but does not represent reality. In nature, sharks do not hunt people as regular prey. Most incidents occur due to confusion, curiosity, or a misidentification, especially in murky waters. For the shark, an exploratory bite can be a way to investigate something unknown, although for the human being it is very serious. This is one of the great tragedies. We fear an animal that, in reality, has many more reasons to fear our species. Each year, millions of sharks die because of commercial fishing and the fin trade. Many populations have decreased drastically, and some species already face a serious risk of disappearance. The largest shark in the world, for example, is not a fierce hunter of large prey. It is the whale shark, a peaceful giant that can exceed 18 meters in length and feeds mainly on plankton. On the other hand, reef sharks rarely represent a danger to humans. Therefore, The true story of sharks is not that of monsters of the seas, but that of ancient and indispensable survivors. They are not the villains of the ocean, but the silent guardians of a balance that took millions of years to form. When we protect sharks, we also protect the health of the seas and the stability of countless ecosystems that depend on them. Leaving behind the coral reefs, we reach the open sea, a boundless immensity where the horizon seems infinite and life assumes an epic scale. Here, among oceanic currents that cross continents, live the largest animals that have ever existed in the history of the Earth. Not even the largest known dinosaurs reached the size of an adult blue whale. At up to 30 meters in length and nearly 180 tons, the blue whale is a true wonder of evolution. Its tongue alone can weigh as much as an elephant, and its heart can reach the size of a small car. Despite these colossal dimensions, it feeds almost exclusively on krill, small crustaceans that measure barely a few centimeters. During the feeding season, a single individual can consume up to 4 tons of krill a day. But what makes the blue whale truly fascinating is not just its size, but the contrast between its enormous strength and its extraordinary delicacy. Unlike many large predators, it leads a relatively peaceful existence, crossing entire oceans on silent journeys. Some populations travel thousands of kilometers each year between cold feeding areas and warmer regions where reproduction occurs. There is also something deeply moving about their way of living. Despite being capable of communicating across enormous distances, many blue whales spend a large part of their lives alone or accompanied by few individuals. In the middle of the largest environment on the planet, they traverse oceanic vastnesses almost without meeting others of their species. Their existence is marked by long journeys, silence, and endurance. Their longevity is equally impressive, as many live between 70 and 90 years, and some individuals can exceed a century of life. Each one carries scars from encounters with predators, marks from collisions with vessels, or memories of a life facing storms and currents. Despite their colossal size, they use a surprisingly efficient feeding method. With their enormous filter-feeding baleen, they swallow thousands of liters of water at once and then expel it, retaining millions of small crustaceans. Their physiological capabilities also seem extraordinary, with a heart that at rest can beat only twice per minute. During deep dives, they manage to drastically reduce energy consumption, remaining submerged for about 20 minutes. And then there are their songs, with vocalizations that are among the lowest sounds produced by any animal. These calls can travel hundreds or even thousands of kilometers across the ocean as a form of communication and orientation. But perhaps one of the most extraordinary stories involving whales occurs after their death. When a blue whale dies and its body sinks to the bottom of the ocean, a phenomenon known as whale fall occurs. A single carcass can provide food for dozens or even hundreds of different species for decades. Sharks, abyssal fish, crabs, worms, and specialized bacteria transform that giant into a true island of life. In some regions of the deep ocean, scientists have identified entire ecosystems that depend on these occasional falls. It's as if, even after death, a whale continues to sustain life. Its body becomes a source of energy that feeds generations of creatures in an environment where food is extremely rare. The blue whale symbolizes the connection between all levels of the ocean, from the surface to the depths. Few animals demonstrate so clearly that even the largest giants are part of a delicate and interdependent network. Perhaps that's what makes the blue whale one of the most extraordinary creatures on our planet. Hidden in the depths of the ocean, underwater volcanoes are titanic forces of nature, capable of shaping the sea floor. These invisible giants represent more than 75% of all the volcanic activity on Earth. They remain widely unknown because many of their eruptions occur far from light, under kilometers of water and crushing pressure. When an underwater volcano erupts, a phenomenon known as a submarine eruption occurs. In this process, the lava meets the cold ocean water and solidifies quickly, forming structures called pillow lavas. Over time, these eruptions build seamounts, ocean ridges, and new islands. In regions like the Mid-Atlantic Ridge and the Pacific Ring of Fire, the planet continues to be reshaped in silence. Many oceanic islands were born from this activity, emerging slowly from the accumulation of lava until breaking the surface. Contrary to what is imagined, these deep waters are not lifeless deserts. Near the volcanoes and the cracks in the oceanic crust, hydrothermal vents emerge, also called black smokers. In these regions, the water can reach temperatures higher than 350 degrees Celsius, but does not boil due to the enormous pressure. Around these chimneys, life has found an extraordinary solution to survive. Instead of depending on sunlight, organisms survive thanks to chemosynthesis. Extremophile bacteria transform chemical compounds, such as hydrogen sulfide and methane, into vital energy. They form the base of entire ecosystems, sustaining giant tube worms, shrimp, mussels, crabs, and fish adapted to extreme conditions. This type of life deeply changed the way science understands the biosphere. The discovery of hydrothermal vents showed that life can thrive in total darkness, fueled only by terrestrial chemistry. These environments offer clues about how life could exist in other worlds, such as on the moons, Europa, or Enceladus. Over time, inactive underwater volcanoes also transform into refuges for biodiversity. Their rocky slopes provide shelter for deep-sea corals, sponges, crustaceans, fish, and octopuses. What began as fire, lava, and destruction ends up becoming a solid foundation for new marine communities. Underwater volcanoes reveal that from violence, life is born in a harsh environment. In a world where pressure would crush a human being in seconds, nature proves it is resilient and surprising. Life in the depths is a testimony to the infinite creativity of evolution. Known as orcas, but frequently called killer whales, these creatures are actually the largest members of the dolphin family. With up to 9 meters long and weighing over 6 tons, they are among the most efficient and intelligent predators of evolution. In virtually all the planet's oceans, from the Arctic to the Antarctic, orcas occupy the absolute top of the food chain. They are so dominant that many scientists call them the wolves of the oceans due to their commanding presence. But their true strength lies not just in their size or sharp teeth. It is in their collective intelligence, as orcas live in family groups called pods that depend deeply on cooperation. Each group possesses its own culture, hunting techniques, and even a unique set of vocalizations. This is a dialect transmitted from generation to generation that allows nearby populations sometimes to hunt in completely different ways. Their strategic capacity is legendary, as seen in the Antarctic with the technique known as wave washing. Working in perfect synchrony, several orcas swim together to create artificial waves capable of knocking seals off ice floes. In a few tenths of a second, an apparently safe prey is tossed into the water, where the hunters await. In other regions, they surround schools of fish using bubble curtains to drive the prey into a small bait ball before attacking. Some populations have been observed turning sharks upside down to induce a state of tonic immobility. This leaves the predator temporarily unable to react and facilitates its capture. Not even the great white shark is completely safe. As shown by cases recorded in South Africa, small teams of orcas hunted white sharks and precisely removed their fat-rich livers, causing other sharks to abandon the area. Their intelligence is frequently compared to that of the great primates due to their long-term memory and problem-solving. Each pod functions as an organized society where they share food and care for the youngest members. The oldest females play a fundamental role as the group's living libraries. They know migratory routes and the survival strategies that help the whole family through difficult times. Despite their fearsome reputation, fatal attacks by wild orcas on humans are extremely rare. Although they can take down animals much larger than us, they show little interest in hunting us. When an orca emerges from the water in a gigantic leap, we are witnesses to one of the most advanced forms of collective intelligence. This being combines strength, culture, communication, and strategy at a level rarely seen in nature. Among the many inhabitants of the ocean, few inspire as much respect as orcas. They are not just hunters, but strategists, teachers, and living symbols of the extraordinary power of cooperation. On the other hand, giant algae known as kelp form some of the most spectacular landscapes of the temperate oceans. These underwater forests are found along the coasts of the North Pacific, South America, South Africa, Australia, and New Zealand. Some species grow up to 60 centimeters a day and can exceed 30 meters in height. This transforms the seafloor into an environment reminiscent of a terrestrial forest in constant motion. Traversing a kelp forest, the sensation is almost surreal due to the golden columns rising toward the surface. It is one of the most biodiverse marine environments on our planet. These forests serve as home to fish such as the Garibaldi, rockfish, and various species of sea bass. Smaller sharks patrol their edges, while octopuses, starfish, and lobsters occupy the natural hiding spots. Marine mammals such as sea otters, seals, and sea lions also depend directly on these ecosystems. Otters maintain an important relationship with kelp by feeding on sea urchins. By controlling the urchins, they prevent them from excessively consuming the algae and destroying the forest's richness. It is a classic example of how a single species can influence an entire ecosystem. Kelps are among the fastest growing organisms and capture enormous amounts of carbon dioxide. Therefore, they are considered important natural allies in the fight against climate change. Additionally, they help reduce the force of waves and coastal storms, protecting littoral regions against erosion. Beneath the ocean surface exist true submerged jungles full of life. Scientists often describe kelp forests as the marine equivalent of tropical rainforests. These algae function as biological factories that produce organic matter through photosynthesis. In this way, the energy captured by a simple alga ends up sustaining fish, mammals, and even large predators. Without these underwater forests, many coastal ecosystems would completely collapse. Kelp forests remind us that not always the most famous organisms are the most important. Sometimes, silent structures like these giant algae make entire worlds of life possible under the deep waters. At about 200 meters below the surface, we enter the twilight zone, an intermediate layer where sunlight barely reaches and darkness begins to dominate. This somber and silent environment is the home of extraordinary creatures, adapted to thrive in conditions of low visibility and increasing pressure. At only a few centimeters long, lanternfish are small but incredibly numerous. They are estimated to be one of the most abundant groups of fish on the planet. Their bioluminescence, produced by bacteria in special organs, not only helps them attract prey, but also to confuse predators. They illuminate the environment strategically to escape threats. These creatures play an essential role in the largest migratory event on the planet, the daily vertical movement. During the night, millions of lanternfish rise to the surface to feed on plankton. They return to the twilight zone at dawn to avoid predators. This behavior helps transfer nutrients between ocean layers, connecting surface ecosystems with the depths. Few animals have inspired as much curiosity, fascination, and mystery as the giant squid. For centuries, sailors recounted stories of sea monsters capable of attacking vessels, colossal creatures hidden in the depths. For a long time, these stories were treated as legends, but reality revealed something even more impressive. The giant squid can reach more than 13 meters in length, including its long tentacles, and weigh hundreds of kilos. It inhabits deep regions of the ocean where sunlight completely disappears. Living in such inaccessible environments, it was one of the great mysteries of zoology for centuries. Only in 2004 did scientists manage to record for the first time images of a live giant squid in its natural habitat. It was a historic moment for marine biology, confirming that this legendary creature really existed before our eyes. Its anatomy is extraordinary, with tentacles equipped with suckers filled with small sharp structures to capture slippery prey. Its eyes are among the largest in the animal kingdom, being able to exceed 25 centimeters in diameter. In an environment that is almost totally dark, these giant eyes allow the detection of even the faint luminosity produced by bioluminescent animals, and it has reason to remain always alert. In the depths of the ocean occurs one of nature's most epic battles, the confrontation between giant squids and sperm whales. Various sperm whales feature circular scars on their bodies, left by the squid's suckers during combats in absolute darkness. They are encounters rarely observed by human beings, but they represent one of the most impressive predator-prey relationships on the planet. But the giant squid is not alone in this mysterious world. Sharing the depths lives one of the strangest fish ever discovered, the frilled shark, frequently called a living fossil. It has existed for tens of millions of years and has changed very little from its ancestors. at about 2 meters long. Its elongated body reminds one more of an eel than a modern shark. Its appearance seems to come directly from prehistory. It possesses 6 pairs of gill slits that form a collar-like structure around the neck. Its mouth is filled with more than 300 fine and recurved teeth distributed in about 25 rows. Once captured, the prey hardly manages to escape that lethal embrace. Unlike many modern sharks, the frilled shark does not depend on speed, but on ambush. It remains motionless in the dark until launching its body forward in a rapid movement similar to a snake's attack. Its diet includes fish, squids, and other cephalopods of the depths. What is more impressive is that encounters with this species are extremely rare. Most human beings will never see a live frilled shark outside of documentaries or scientific expeditions. Each record obtained by researchers helps to reveal a little more of the secrets of the ocean's deepest regions. Both the giant squid and the frilled shark represent living reminders of how much we still do not know. In a world where satellites observe every corner of the Earth's surface, giant creatures and ancestral predators hidden in the gloom still exist. They are animals that challenge our imagination and remind us that evolution followed extraordinary paths under the sea. But as we dive deeper, the ocean reveals its most disturbing and fascinating mysteries. Welcome to the abyssal depths, one of the most extreme environments on Earth. From 4,000 meters below the surface, sunlight disappears completely and the temperature moves toward freezing point. The pressure in this place can be hundreds of times greater than at the surface. At first glance, it looks like a lifeless desert, but in the absolute gloom, there is a world inhabited by creatures so strange they seem to have come from another planet. Among the most emblematic hunters is the black sea devil, also called the abyssal anglerfish. Despite being less than 20 centimeters, it is an efficient predator of the deep sea. Its luminous lure, produced by bioluminescent bacteria, sways in front of its mouth like a small living lantern. In total darkness, that light can be the last thing a prey sees before the attack. Another impressive inhabitant is the dragonfish, with long teeth, dark body, and luminous organs. These organs are capable of producing signals almost invisible to many of its prey. For its part, the viperfish possesses huge fangs relative to its body size. Its mouth is capable of opening amazingly to capture animals of almost its own size. On the seafloor, giant isopods move slowly like prehistoric creatures, distant relatives of small garden woodlice. They can reach about 50 centimeters in length. They act as cleaners of the depths, feeding on carcasses that fall from the upper layers. In an environment where food is rare, their ability to survive long periods without food is essential. Further down, near the ocean trenches, live translucent amphipods, sea cucumbers, and brittle stars. Deep-sea octopuses and ghostly jellyfish also inhabit these dark regions. Some look almost transparent, an adaptation that helps them disappear in absolute darkness. Others have developed gelatinous bodies and slow metabolism to spend as little energy as possible. Around hydrothermal vents, the landscape changes completely, and mineral-rich water creates underwater oases. There live heat-adapted shrimp, white crabs, and tube worms that can be more than 2 meters long. These animals depend on symbiotic bacteria capable of transforming chemical compounds into energy through chemosynthesis. It is a form of life that does not depend at all on the sun. This is one of the greatest lessons of the depths. Life can flourish where it seemed impossible. Instead of vibrant colors and sunlight, the abyss offers silence, pressure, cold, and darkness. And yet, evolution has created luminous predators, giant cleaners, and transparent organisms. Entire communities are sustained by the Earth's chemistry. Each creature of this extreme world provides a different solution to survive. Some attract prey with light, while others wait years for food or live alongside energy-producing bacteria. In the abyssal depths, nature is no less rich. It is simply stranger and much more mysterious. It is a testimony to the infinite resilience of life. To the north of the planet, surrounded by the ice of Canada, Russia, Greenland, Norway, and the United States, is the Arctic Ocean. Located in the polar region, this ocean is the smallest and shallowest in the world. However, it is also one of the most challenging environments for life due to its extreme conditions. With temperatures that can drop below -2 degrees Celsius, it tests the limits of all who inhabit here. The Arctic is more than just ice. During the summer, constant sunlight melts part of the frozen layer. This reveals open waters that sustain a rich marine biodiversity. But in winter, eternal darkness covers the sea, transforming it into one of the most extreme environments on the planet. While the ocean vibrates with life in its depths, it also nourishes the dry land. The sea connects with the islands that emerge like jewels on the blue horizon of the oceans. These islands are much more than pieces of land surrounded by water. They are unique ecosystems fueled by marine wealth. They are home to species that depend directly on the ocean to survive in their day-to-day lives. Located in the Pacific, the Galapagos Islands are a sanctuary of extraordinary biodiversity. Here, marine and land life find a unique harmony that has fascinated scientists for decades. Marine iguanas, for example, are the only lizards in the world that feed in the ocean. They dive to consume algae before returning to the beaches to warm their bodies in the sun. Sea lions, penguins, and even cormorants depend on the rich marine ecosystems around the islands. Cold currents bring an abundance of fish that sustains these unique and resilient species. On the other hand, the Great Barrier Reef surrounds paradise islands like Hamilton Island and Whitsunday. These small pieces of land are refuges for birds like frigates and seagulls that use the beaches for nesting. Meanwhile, kangaroos and wallabies inhabit the tropical forests near the coast. The waters surrounding these islands are rich in biodiversity, nourishing both marine and land life. Each island functions as a link between the ocean and the continent. It is on these natural frontiers where life prospers in a delicate and magnificent balance. The ocean is, ultimately, the great provider of all life forms on this planet. The islands are living proof that the ocean goes far beyond its waves. It connects, nourishes, and sustains not only the life that exists in its depths, but also millions of species worldwide. Each island, each reef, and each ocean current forms part of an invisible network that maintains our planet's balance. Throughout this journey, we have explored only a small fraction of this extraordinary world. The ocean covers more than 70% of the Earth's surface and houses a biodiversity so vast that thousands of species are still unknown, from kelp forests to microscopic plankton. Each life form plays an essential role in this system. But this balance is more fragile than it seems before current challenges. Oceans face increasing threats caused by pollution, overfishing, habitat destruction, and climate change. Millions of tons of plastic reach the seas each year, pressing diverse marine populations in an unprecedented way. Before the ocean's vastness, it's impossible not to reflect on the greatness of its existence. Its tireless waves and impressive biodiversity remind us of something much larger than ourselves. Each creature and each drop of water seem to be part of an extraordinary harmony built by evolution. Therefore, we must be grateful to nature, grateful for living on a planet capable of sustaining such diversity of life in such a generous way. We are grateful because there are still wild places where nature continues to write stories much older than humanity itself. But gratitude alone is not enough to preserve this world. Gratitude must be accompanied by deep responsibility. Protecting the oceans means protecting the climate, biodiversity, and the future of future generations. Each small action, from reducing pollution to supporting conservation, helps preserve this heritage of humanity, and this adventure is still very far from over. The ocean still holds secrets in its depths, with creatures yet undiscovered and landscapes that few eyes have contemplated. If you liked this trip, hit like, subscribe to the channel, and activate notifications. Your support helps us continue exploring the most fascinating places on the planet. That way, we can continue sharing incredible wildlife stories with more and more people. And now we want to know, which ocean creature surprised you most in this documentary? Tell us your opinion in the comments. Your answer may inspire our next big adventure. The ocean is full of mysteries waiting to be revealed. And this documentary has been just the beginning of a great journey.